All right. Welcome back, guys, to the Talkaholics podcast. This is Iman.
And Razia.
So today, because this episode is going to be released on Valentine's Day, we were like, what should we talk about? So you're going to be cliche. We're going to talk about love.
So we're going to be giggling this entire episode.
No, okay. This is very indicative about what we're going to talk about because why are we struggling?
Why are we struggling?
No, but okay, we're going to start off light and simple, but Razia, take it
away. Okay. So, like Iman said, Valentine's Day, all about that love, and we're going to take it back to our childhoods, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about our first crushes. Iman, let's think about this.
Honestly, like...
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, who was the first few people that you can remember on TV, in movies?
Okay, we're broadening
in person,
it. Okay.
Or on person.
No, I'm just saying, like in general, I didn't really have many.
Yeah, I was early.
I don't know if I could even consider anything like in my childhood a crush. Like, definitely my TV crush was Devon from That's a Raven. I already talked about this. Okay, he was like, I love him. But like in person, like in school and stuff, I never really crushed on anybody. Like I would say like, oh, he's cute, but like that's it. You know what I mean? Like they were my friends. I didn't really think past that. I never was like, oh my god, I'm in love with him.
No,
oh my
no,
god,
no.
Well,
oh my god. That's kind of what I'm talking about too. It's not like I went after these.
No,
people at,
but even 4. Like internally, like I was never like, oh my god, he's so cute. I'm so nervous.
Oh, really?
No, it was like always like I'm friends with them.
A list from me then.
And they're cute, but like that's it. But I don't know. I don't know why that was, but no. But like Devon from my TV, definitely
love that. I've talked about this before too on the podcast, and you're about to hear a list from me because it's gonna go on. Because I feel like I knew from very early on, like, just that, you know, if I found a boy cute, I was fully aware. Like, I just knew. Because a lot of people say, I know a few people, like friends and stuff, who have said, like, oh, no, it was only until, like, middle school that I started, like, seeing boys that way. I'm like, I
think it wasn't until I was older that I was more, like, conscious of it. Like, if I think someone's cute, then I was like, oh, I need to be nervous because I care about what they might think of me. Like I think that was something that came along when I was older, but I feel like that has a lot to do with what society or media, whatever, tells you about how we should feel. But that's a whole other topic.
It totally is.
But when I was younger, like I still recognize it because like that's again very prevalent in the media. Like oh, girl at school finds or guy at school finds a girl cute, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're all like hee hee. Yeah. But like I never took it that far. Like it was more like I was pretty chill when I was young.
Okay. I was like a wild child, clearly. Okay, so for me, TV-wise, I've mentioned this before on the podcast. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was the first. And a lot of other wrestlers, actually. Because I didn't know.
That's really funny to me.
Yeah, because, I had an older brother, and anything, like any video game he played, I played, any TV show, movie he watched, I watched. And he watched a lot of wrestling because he was of that age, like he was in high school. And it was the 90s or like early 2000s, so like obviously still prevalent at the time. And so a lot of my taste has been dictated by that because
super muscly big guys.
Guys who know how to put on a show, are entertaining, super full of life.
Yeah.
Like okay, down for that. So yeah, a very interesting introduction. It's guys and stuff, and I think. Well, because The Rock at the time that we were watching and like WWE, he was like the head of his game and stuff. And, like, there were a few others, but like he was the main one. And then I, and like kind of continued into like school and stuff. It's so weird. But like,
I mean, you don't have to say who, because they still probably.
No. These people are from. I don't keep in contact with anybody from Scarborough.
Okay, cool.
I was anyway. No, but I went to elementary school in Scarborough, and they're like until like grade 3. So I didn't have Instagram for them.
Well,
I didn't keep in contact with anybody at the time. But yeah, like I feel like I don't know why I was always aware. I don't know why I I was like almost always too conscious of it, that like when I knew a guy was here, I was like, oh, here comes trouble. Like I
was conscious of when guys had crushes on me when I was younger.
Really?
Which was very weird.
That's so cute though.
I was really very conscious of it, and I dealt with it in very many ways. I'll tell my story after you though.
Yeah. Okay, well let's get into it right now actually, because like I feel like I will say this. When I had a crush on people, when I was younger versus like middle school or as I got older, I dealt with it differently because and this is muscle mindset speaking, but I thought of it as like, what are you doing, Ross? You're getting in trouble. You shouldn't be thinking about
Yes, and I mean, like, that's something that we wanted to bring up during this episode too. But this whole idea of like, well, I mean, and everybody like everybody has different lived experiences and has different ideas of love based on how they were raised and like what they see. But like, I feel like generally, as Muslims, we're told like from very young that we like shouldn't look at the guys. Yeah. Guys shouldn't look at you. Like you don't touch them, don't look at them.
Just anything. Don't even be close.
Which I think is so unnecessary.
It's strange.
Especially when you're a child.
Strange. Yeah.
Because it's like if we can't teach our kids how to be respectable humans no matter what gender you are. Yeah. When you grow up, how are you supposed to form connections? Exactly. Because especially living in Toronto, in Canada, no matter, it doesn't matter what you want, you're gonna have to interact with the opposite sex. Whether it be work, whether it be school, no just your social life, like you know what I mean?
Like
going
the
places,
bank, the hospital, like you're not,
anything you do, you're gonna have to. You can't just be like, oh, I can't, like, and you can
to speak to a female accountant.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain aspects that you can, prefer a certain gender, like as a doctor or whatever. That's fine. Yeah. But like in your daily life, for more times than not, you're gonna have to deal with the opposite sex. Yeah. And it's okay if you want to keep a respectable distance. That's fine. Yeah. But if as kids we can't have like just regular social skills, as adults we're gonna fail.
No, it's terrible actually.
And I think another big issue for me is teaching kids that they have to like police themselves around the opposite gender. Kind of teaches them that any interaction you have with the opposite gender is sexual.
Exactly.
Which
or that there's something applied.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I can't have a conversation with a guy and then I'm doing something.
There's nothing platonic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
There are certain like such things as platonic relationships.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be best friends with a guy, but like you're gonna have classmates that are guys. You're gonna have coworkers that are guys, and then opposite for guys, you're gonna have coworkers that are girls, classmates that are girls. You know what I mean? Like you can have a regular conversation.
And I was gonna say, I think because we're children of immigrant parents, that might have a huge thing.
Yeah,
to do with
there's
that
too.
I feel like anybody listening would be like, well, back home for them was completely like, if you were talking to somebody who was like young and like your age and like not your gender or whatever, that there's suspicions, there's an automatic assumption that you're seeing that person, right?
See, especially if you were alone with them, because like both my parents, I feel like lived pretty chill lifestyles, like in Ethiopia. From my understanding, obviously I don't know their entire lives, but like from my understanding, they had like classmates and friends from the opposite gender, but they were always in like group settings. It was never like by themselves, whatever, because then that's, especially as a woman, like my dad could probably get away with more things than my mom could, but like it was always like a group setting. It was always just like chill, and that's also a very common Ethiopian lifestyle. Like just culturally, everybody's like family, like it's at least back in the day it was like I don't really know how it is right now, but everybody's very like familiar with one another, and then so I feel like they live very relaxed, or like somewhat relaxed. Like still like very religion was very important to the family. Like they still were very strict on that, but like in general their community lives were like very chill. But I just don't know, like I think it's just moving here and not being, because that's the thing, in Ethiopia you're around everybody's Ethiopian, so it's more like a community feeling. But I guess moving here, living in the West, and like being a part of a larger community than just Ethiopians, and then also like the whole Islamic teaching here, especially in the West, it's very like strict on those things. So I guess like accumulation of all of that has created this idea, like that we have to be very like cautious.
Because you just kind of like brought it up in my head right now. I think part of it is because like there's always that stigma that the West will always have, which is like, when you become like the westernized kid,
it's like you're a crazy one.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was always that fear. I feel like this goes back to the immigrant parent thing of like, I think maybe as like parents coming here for the first time and having kids for the first time, it's like you have to overdo the fear part, because you just don't want them to fuck up and like end up like stereotypical Western kids do, which are like druggies and like they're all over the girls or like whatever, and it's just like I think it's out of like just wanting you to not fuck up as a kid, that they just start early and drill it to you that you can't do these things, or you can't be seen doing these things. That's also part of I just really like I feel like I just segued myself into another topic, which is half or more than half of it, and knowing, well, at least for brown parents especially, it's the idea that like if you're seen, it's not the fact that you're doing it or like you're talking to someone.
They make assumptions off of seeing you, which is so interesting. But I think for me, like personally, it's so interesting because my parents never had to be like, you can't talk to guys. They never. I don't even. I can't remember a conversation ever with my parents when I was like ever in general that said, you know, like you can't do that. It was just like I feel like it was just implied, and I don't know where the implication came from for me. But I think it was like all the like different Islamic schools that I was at, and where it's like very clear, like the guys sit separately from the girls and all that stuff. Where it was like, okay, there are certain rules I have to conduct myself with, which is true in Islam, yes. But that whole extreme, like, I never would ever bring eye contact. I mean, I had guy friends. Like, it was not like I always saw it as just like chilling friends. And then when I was older, like in high school and stuff, I didn't have as many guy friends, but the guy friends I had, again, chill. Yeah. Nothing like crazy. I would never bring a boy to my house. Like even if it was just a project. No. I would go to the library. I would never bring a boy to my house. No. I would never talk about my guy friends to my parents. It was just like this implication, which I think I was more serious on myself than my parents were.
Right. You were self-policing.
I was self-policing. That's so cute. And I think I maybe brought like a guy over for a project one time to my house. Yeah. And it was with another girl, so there's 3 of us in my house, and we were just recording. It was like a science project. Yeah. And I don't know why I was so like, my dad walked in and I was like, he's going to say something. And he was like, hi. And I was like, hi. And then I introduced them and he was like, hey, cool. And he left. And then you were like, I was like, woo.
That's so cute.
But I don't know why. I guess, well, I do know why. Because there was certain like teachings as a child that we were taught like from
and you don't want to have
different schools of thought. Yeah. And also it's like, for some reason I thought it would be embarrassing. Yeah. I feel like my parents would have appreciated it actually, to be honest. Because my dad's always like, you could tell me anything and we can discuss it and blah, blah, blah.
So cute.
But like from the beginning it's always been like, that's taboo, we're not talking about that, don't even bring it up to me. So even now when my parents are like, oh, you know, like, you know, if you're seeing someone and you like, you know, you want to take that for, just let us know. And I'm just like, no. Not that I'm lying, because there's really no one else. No one. There's no one out here. I'm just saying, like, it's just, I wouldn't have that conversation. I don't want to have that conversation. Yeah. And that's bad. We should have that conversation. Like, kids should be. Totally. That's like you know, your parents are the ones who look out for you the most, for the most part. Obviously, everybody has different relationships, but, like, that should be something that you should be able to talk to your parents about without feeling like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's such a life-changing decision and experience. And, should there be someone, like, serious in your life that, like, you should. Yeah, exactly. But, like, that's not my experience whatsoever.
Yeah, I want to hear about you because I don't have that. Like, I feel like your experience, what you're gonna say, is very typical, like South Asian immigrant parent culture, and I didn't have that. Yeah,
almost way too stereotypical because it was told to me and said to me on many occasions, like what my boundaries were, and I generally was so good at it and like very obedient, like Muslim little girl from like from the get go of like, no, like I what are you saying? I don't talk to the boys, blah, 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 all this stuff. And like, you know, like even just like, cause I was mentioning, even like having crushes on like classmates, like even like young, I was like, this is bad. You shouldn't be thinking about this. What if and even though it's like a thought, like no one's gonna find out. Like I overthought things like that all the time. And like, I also feel like I had like this internalized like feeling and belief that like, again, should anyone see this happening, or even if I'm just caught talking to somebody, and like that's it, I'm done, I'm dead, I'm gonna be disowned, like that's finished, right?
Yeah. That's so sad though. Like, oh god.
But the funny thing is, I do have a lot of friends who are guys now.
Yeah.
And that changed like early high school, almost like end of like elementary school, where I was like, no, what am I doing? Like wasting my time. And I think a lot of it has to do with my interests too, right? There are a lot more guys who are into video games. There are a lot more guys who are into anime and the stuff that I watched. Like, so I ended up making a lot of friends who are guys. And what do you do about that other than to like have good friendships? Like, you know, I'm not gonna limit myself from having like great healthy platonic friendships with guys. And so like that just kind of ended up happening. And then I feel like as I got older, obviously my parents know every single one of them by name and have met some of them. So it's not like obviously over time it became like a different conversation, a different thing. Yeah. And like, going back to the crushes thing, because I just thought about this, like, the first time I even, like, vocalized a crush was, like, when Twilight was a thing. It's so funny. It's just, like, so funny.
Oh, no. Don't tell me Robert Pattinson.
No, I wasn't.
Taylor Lautner?
I was a Taylor Lautner
No,
girl.
both of them. I don't like it.
Okay, but there's
No.
one clear decision over the other, honey. Like, Taylor Lautner was, like, we're having a Twilight debate right now. Oh.
No. For sure. But I did not like Taylor Lautner with long hair, so I couldn't.
Oh, yeah,
I couldn't like him in the movie.
But, like,
I'm so sorry.
Just do this to the face. Just cover it. The rest was nice. The rest was fine. But, like...
That's what we're not supposed to be thinking about, Razia.
I was... Okay, that was, like, the first time. The first time I remember, I might have been earlier, though, to be honest, but the first time I remember in front of my family being, like, clearly open about having, like, thinking that this guy's cute is I think the trailer or the commercial was going on TV, and I said something. I probably said something stupid and, like, flirty, and then I was like, and everyone's like,
Silence.
like, you have dead silence. My siblings are definitely dead silent, going, you said it in front of their parents, because I was a lot more like open and stuff with my parents about that stuff, probably earlier than my siblings, just because, like, I also was being jokey. I'm, like, a lot more likely to, like, the one to be calling shots and stuff, like, and delivering them. So, like, I said something, and then they were dead silent, and my mom could do nothing but blush. My mom's the type to be, like, just, like, choke up and not know how to handle the situation. And so, like, and then they're, like, obviously jumped on that, the fact that they knew that I liked Taylor Lautner at any point, any conversation, any trailer that went on, any, like, billboard. They'd be like, Razia, and I'd be like, I know, like, yes, I'm not that shy about it.
That's so funny. I've never done that.
No?
No.
Not once?
No.
But it's as a joke? As a
never.
joke. Oh,
I would never do that.
But it's so fun. But it's so fun.
No, it's not fun.
I do that with my mom. My mom, after watching, like, a lot of reality TV shows and, like, TV in general with my mom, I'll notice when she, like, likes a guy, but she doesn't even know it herself.
Really?
Yeah, like,
oh, no.
Huge one. Okay, family favorite. My whole family knows this. It's like a big inside joke. But basically, she used to watch The Voice a lot.
Yeah. Don't say Blake Shelton.
No, I'd be like, what are you doing? No, she used to watch The Voice so much. Like, even when we moved to New York, we, like, went to Rockefeller Center is, like, where they shoot and stuff. So she was, like, hyped. She was, like, so excited. Biggest fangirl for The Voice. She likes Adam Levine so much. And, like, it wasn't obvious until, like, she kept talking about him, and, like, his song would go on the radio, and she'd be the first to recognize. She's very bad with names and, like, song names and anything. Yeah. But Adam Levine, for some reason, like, he has this distinct voice. That's one thing.
Does. Yeah.
But, like, if a song gone, she'll notice it, and then I'm like, that's new for my mom. She doesn't recognize stuff like this. She doesn't have, like, this pop culture, like, background. Right? Yeah. And I was like, and then I think me and my sister-in-law were talking about or somebody, and then I was like, that's because she likes him. And I was like, and, like, cause she would, like, over like, talk about him sometimes, and, like, mention how she's, like, not a fan of his tattoos and how he would look better without tattoos. And I was like, okay, that's because you like him. And then I kept bringing it up slowly. It's just like, stop. It's just, like, the worst thing in the world. But it's the best. Next time you should do it when you see her.
No.
Like, no, just in conversation. Just bring
it up.
And just to be like, and I'm like side-eye just to see my mom. Oh my god, because she'll know. Razzie, you told her. Yeah.
She's like, stop telling my business to your friends.
I don't know who else is. My mom does, like another. I think she likes Bradley Cooper. It's another one. My mom has a very particular type. She likes skinny guys, which is interesting. I was like, okay. Oh, my dad makes sense, I guess. It's so funny.
But yeah, I guess it's interesting to see, like, even though, like, we're part of the same, like, religious community, it's like how different, like, you know, our relationships.
Because mine was like, it's not like my parents are Orthodox either. Like, you've met my parents.
Yeah.
They're really not super what I would consider conservative. Very religious. Like, they've always sent me to Sunday schools. I've always done, like, and they're very, like, they were very, at one point, very pushy about the whole boy thing. But it's funny how, like, with time and, like, when they realize, like, okay, you kind of have to let go with Razia a little bit, and you just have to be her own. Well, now being like in my 20s, like, that they kind of embrace it, going, okay, like, this can be a topic now that we can discuss. My mom still gets uncomfortable. My dad would leave the room, but, like, it's funny. Like, it's more of a joke. It's like there's a bit of a humor behind it.
But I like that you can still have a conversation, as uncomfortable as it would be. Yeah. You guys can still have a conversation. I feel like I could have a conversation with my parents. Yeah. But I just never had it. Oh man. So I won't do it.
You should just try. It's so fun.
I will not.
It's just so fun. There's something funny.
It's so funny because I can do it with other parents.
Yeah.
Like my friends' parents, if they bring it up, I'm like, yeah, and I'll be fine.
Really?
But with
Okay.
my own parents, no, I don't want to have that conversation.
Well,
like I should,
why?
but I don't.
Just try.
When it
Just
happens,
for
it happens. I'll let them
But
know.
just so
You know,
for fun. It doesn't have to be serious. Like, Mom.
No. It'll be
Leonardo
serious.
DiCaprio. No, you have to start. You have to start funny. Like just something. Can you imagine just you and your parents in the living room? You're watching something
can't.
and just outright say he's cute. Just say
no.
try.
He's cute.
Why?
No, sir.
Why?
I'll say that for like if I'm talking about a little kid, like, oh, he's cute.
Stop. Oh my god. Oh my god. But like, it's not like they're gonna like get mad.
No, but it'll just be uncomfortable. I don't like being uncomfortable.
Please.
No. But when I get there, I'll let you know.
Okay. And then we'll do a whole other episode.
I'm a whole 24-year-old, okay?
You're so cute.
But you know what? I know people can relate to me. So I'm here as your voice
Yeah, there you go.
for y'all out there who are struggling.
And likewise.
Honestly, I'm not even struggling because it's not even like every day I'm like, oh my God, I need to have this conversation with them. No, I barely even think about this.
Yes.
But sometimes it'll come up with like my parents. They'll be like, because they're like, now, okay, girl, you're almost 25. Like,
Yeah.
But the good thing about my parents though is like they've never pushed like marriage on me. They were never like. My parents are always like, you need to get your education. You need to get a job. Like that was their first like process. After I finished high school, go to university. After you finish university, my dad's like, go do your master's, go to your doctors, do all the PhD, do the whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I'm not going that far.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he's like, you know, get the highest level of education you want, get the job you want. And then, like, through the process, you know, maybe you meet someone.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Right,
and I'm just like, nah, it's not happening.
That's so cute.
But he's like, yeah, but it'll be random. Like, sometimes they'll be like, you know, Iman, if there is someone, just tell us. And I'm just like, you really don't need to worry right now because there is truly, and I say this with 100% certainty, truly no one.
You know, you just, oh my god, you know what my mom does when she has like your dad's equivalent of that conversation? Yeah. She's so, oh my god, I'm putting her on blast right now. She's gonna like actually kill me if she hears, well, she'll like come upstairs with like a cup of tea in her hand and like kind of like walk too fast into my room and then close the door behind her. Be like, so Razia, me and your dad were talking and like this, oh well, I can't, I was gonna like, okay, the whole conversation is happening in Tamil and like me trying my hardest not to break into like laughter just because she's trying so hard to be like really civil about this conversation because she knows like you know how like these conversations happen with like, especially with me, like being like too loudmouth and stuff about everything, that it's just her approach to it. It's like very formal. Like she has to sit me down. It's a meeting that was scheduled that she has to have. It's so funny. And like, it's because she can't have like casual conversations about it. And I think that's like a generational difference.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm the type to like want to have very casual conversations with my parents about boys, about whatever. But she comes from a world with that I'm sure she'd never talk to her parents about this stuff. Like that's foreign, right? And I didn't think I would ever either. Like I was like I would shit myself just thinking about the fact that like should my parents find out I liked a guy, like that was the end of the world. Like even thinking about it, I wasn't even doing anything. So like I don't know what shift happened, but as soon as I like realized I could talk about difficult conversations through humor, that it like I was like, oh okay, like this is gonna be easier. And it only became like kind of serious recently, but that's about it. Took time. Yeah, and it took a lot of Rosie, you shouldn't be talking like that until like it kind of got normal. But it's just funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, my parents are very, like I said, they're very chill. Like we have casual conversations all the time. It just never breaches this subject. And I'm sure like eventually it's gonna have to. It's gonna get there. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. But
I feel like I live for cringy moments. Maybe that's just me.
I'm the opposite. I don't want a cringy moment. Like I don't want to even talk about it. But I guess like yeah, we just wanted to have this conversation because I feel like it's a taboo topic still in like the Muslim community, and it shouldn't be that like I don't think it needs to be that serious.
No,
even though I still won't talk about it with my parents. Being a little hypocritical, but it's okay. But no, I think that is very indicative to like what I was taught and how I was raised. Yeah, not even raised, like what other people told me, not even my parents. Other people told me. Yeah. And you, like, absorb that as a child, and it kind of stays with you as you grow, no matter how, like, you know, independent you become or whatever. So, like, I feel like we need to do better. Like, our generation needs to do better with the kids nowadays. And, like, respect is so important. You know what I mean? Like, teaching respect, like, you can still be respectful and then still have a civil conversation. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, like, one or the other. It's like, oh, if you speak to the opposite gender, whoa, you're wild. Like, you could do whatever you want. No. Like, you just be respectful, but, like, you know?
Exactly. Like, I I don't know. I think it is a type of topic, like you said, but I also feel like I can't remember the last time I heard of like Muslim girls who are visibly Muslim too, and like who've like very vocally like have been talking about topics like this even remotely, who aren't married. I should say that too. I feel like it's so easy.
Single
the amount
Muslim
of people, YouTubers
single Muslim
like, and
visibly
I'm like, no, it's different.
Single visibly Muslim girls who are out there mingling.
Yes,
okay, mingling. Okay, and not just mingling to find a relationship, but just living their lives.
Yeah,
and like it's because I don't blame them, because like it's a thing. Like, what if someone I know, like not even someone I know, like what if someone in my family or someone in my community hears that I speak about this, and then they tell my like family, or they and this just brings this whole stigma of like, oh, this girl is like not good. But we need to be able to have open conversations because like. Yeah, or else nothing's gonna change.
Exactly. I was gonna say something just before this, but it's just the fact of like even us just discussing or thinking about discussing this conversation, because we know that this is gonna go live.
Yeah, it's gonna be out to the public.
Even like our feelings right now, even though we're both like confident about this subject and are okay talking about it in our everyday lives, but just like how we were just discussing and brainstorming before we started recording. Yeah, like we were very cautious.
So we were like, "Oh, should we do this?"
With like what you can, how like we're just already so like aware and internalize the idea of us talking. Like if you, I remember specifically like young Razia. Like if I had seen two hijabis talking about boys in general, like that was promiscuous, even though you're having a fucking conversation. Like that was promiscuous, and I feel like that still lingers. I feel like as you get older, which is so strange, and I hate it. But like,
it's like it has to be like, if you're going to talk about it, it has to be hush hush, like only with your closest girlfriends, like in a small room in like in your basement, no one can hear you. Like shut, like be quiet. And it's like so crazy.
It's so strange. It's like, so strange. Honey, we're in our 20s, like have our own lives, like, and it's just I am curious to like, again, we like always try to engage with the people that listen to us. And
I would love to hear other people's perspectives. I mean, I know a lot of my friends have the same experiences as me. But like, I would love to have like a like a big conversation within the Muslim community, people from different like backgrounds. To like hear, is it the same? Is it like, or is it like me and Razia, where like we still have kind of like the same idea, but we grew up in different ways? Like it's just
and though, to be honest, like, and I also know if we hear from anybody, I know that I know other Muslim girls too who had never had this issue, have always been able to talk about boys to their parents.
But you know what? And it depends on who your parents are.
Absolutely,
it depends, because because you know what? I find that a lot of times when I hear about like people who are like completely open with their parents and stuff, it's either like they're second generation, like their parents are second generation. Instead of the kid being the second generation, so they've already grown up. This is like, what
I'm saying about the immigrant parents.
It's a big immigrant community thing. So that's really interesting. I would love to hear more from other people. Obviously, this is like, we have no idea who's gonna hear this. So obviously that puts us a little on edge. But I feel like we didn't really, like, that's another thing. We have to get rid of this idea that we're doing something wrong, because we're really not.
I feel like we both of us are like,
we're convincing ourselves this is not wrong.
Both of our hands are just like so like clammy right now, just going, what if this fucking auntie hears this shit? Like, I didn't actually, the auntie's like the last person in my mind. It's actually just like actual other people who I give a shit about hearing this. But like, you know what I'm saying?
Anyways, this was nice. A little scary, but nice. I mean, we covered a little thing. Oh my god, before we end, let me tell you the story I was going to say. I totally forgot to say it.
Say it.
So basically, I was telling you how when I was younger, I was very conscious of how I knew guys had crushes on me. Like, I'm talking about very young. I was like probably in grade 3.
Right.
But I remember this specific story because it has to do with Valentine's Day. So, you know how like when we were in elementary school, like everybody had to give out Valentine's Day to everybody in the class. So like teachers would give out like the class list so the parents could write the names on each of the Valentine's Day cards, and we would give it out. So my parents like were very, like I said, my parents are very chill, and also wanted us to experience like every single thing that we could. They didn't want us to like miss out on anything. So one of these things for Valentine's Day, they would always buy us like the boy cards. Versions of the Valentine's Day cards and the girls version of the Valentine's Day cards. I did that
too fully.
And so we had the class list name, and then this kid, I think his name, I can't remember his name.
Put him on blast.
I really can't. I don't think I can't remember his name. But this kid, I hated. Like, I did not like him.
Oh no!
But I knew he liked me, and it was like those things.
Was that part of it though? Sometimes for kids, it's like you don't like the guy.
No, the guy, because he did that stereotypical thing where they're like super mean to you because they like you.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So he was like one of those kids that was always bugging me, always like, "Ha, Iman," and I'm a very nice person. Okay, so like, if I think badly of you, I keep it to myself.
Right.
I would just be like, just leave me alone, kind of thing. And like, I had a lot at that when I was younger too. I had a lot of guy friends, and I guess I had you know what? I was friends with everybody. Let me just say that because it's not even that I had a lot of guy friends, but I would play a lot with my guy friends because like we would play sports and like run around and everything during recess. So my other guy friends were like, haha, he likes you, haha, he likes you, and I was like, I know, but I don't like him, so he needs to stop.
Right. There's drama.
So my mom was writing out the names, and I was like, Mommy, look, this guy right here, don't write a Valentine's Day card for him.
Yeah.
And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't like him. And she's like, no, that's rude.
Yeah.
She was like, we're giving out everybody cards, so you have to give him a card. Right. That's just how it is. We can't single him out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fine.
Yeah.
And like I'm I'm goody two shoes. Like I don't really go against my parents, you know what I mean? So like so we got to school and I gave out all my cards and he was late to school that day.
Yeah.
And so I threw out I ripped it up and I threw it in the garbage and he came later and I was like, "Oh, I don't have one for you."
Oh my god. Savage. Iman.
Whoa! I gave everyone, and I was like, yeah. He's like, "Where's mine?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't have one for you."
Oh my god!
And then he just
do?
like he was just like annoying, so he just laughed it off, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, in that moment, I felt guilty, but I also felt so like powerful. I was like, yeah, I didn't want to give you a Valentine's Day card, so I'm not gonna give you a Valentine's Day card. And then this was the same guy I got in trouble for because I called him a bucktooth beaver.
Oh my
god!
Iman.
Because he was really annoying me. He was really annoying me, and I called him a bucktooth beaver. And then he didn't even tell on me. Someone else told on me.
Oh, okay.
And I had to write him an apology letter.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean it at all. I was like, yeah, I gave you an apology letter, but I don't mean it.
Crazy.
That was the only time I was ever rude to anybody.
Oh my god, I feel like I have this new vision of Iman right now.
Yeah, so that was my guy had a crush on me, but I didn't like him back story.
Yeah, I have this other story that like also elementary school Razia had to go through. But okay, that's like almost another episode. Episode full of like shit Razia went through in Scarborough Elementary School that were interesting. Oh my god,
I'm excited for that. But anyways, guys, we hope you have a happy Valentine's Day, whether you're alone or with someone. Have a great day. Yes. Eat lots of chocolate and all the things. I know I will.
Yep. Me and that love it.
But we hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit of a ramble, but I feel like we got our point across.
Yeah.
If you guys,
we were like cringing and
cringing shaking. Internally.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you guys want to keep the conversation going or have any questions or want to comment, do what you gotta do, you know, in the comments on Instagram or under the video on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, you know, engage with us because we love talking, hence the name Talkaholics. But other than that, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Bye. Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.